What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today is a day where this week is going to be massive. We tried to sell, we had tech come out, a lot of big tech sold, aside from your Tesla, and essentially that was pretty much it. Most of the rest of tech sold off. Uh, but with that being said, the market turned midday, and as far as Fang did, and that last power hour candle just essentially exploded going into close. Even a lot of big tech is pushing up after hours. So, where does that leave us? What is going on this week? Yes, we still have a lot of earnings this week leading into it. One of my primary earnings plays this week is actually Square. And they actually just had, after our news, I guess they're partnering with Aaron Rodgers. I guess he's using the Cash app to hand out $1 million or something in Bitcoin to his fans. But nonetheless, this week we still have Pfizer, we still have BP, Under Armour. We got Activision this week. That's tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we still got Roku, Qualcomm, Skills, Fastly, Etsy on Wednesday. And then come Thursday, we got Moderna, Square, Pinterest, Uber, Airbnb, Peloton, Cloudflare, DigitalOcean. And then going into Friday with some DraftKings and Coinbase. So the fun has not stopped yet. We've got tons of stuff going into these next coming weeks, and I think it's just going to fuel the fire more. We don't really have anything that's really going to make us skip a beat aside from Wednesday. Wednesday we do have Federal Reserve statement plus Powell. What is all going to be said there is essentially, I think, talking about tapering and talking about removing, which I think he might actually do it on the spot. I might actually talk about stop bond purchasing, which is something I've been talking about, especially because Canada, they just stopped it. I believe it was last week or the week before. They didn't give any warning. They just stopped the bond purchasing. Rate raises are a different thing, though. They're a different catalyst. Again, have to see how the market is doing. I think that determination won't be made more till around February, March timeframe, which is when I believe we're going to actually start making a normal correction, because the corrections this year have been very diluted. Something I was kind of expecting. Typically, I think we almost hit 7% in March, and the last one we just had, I think, was barely 5%. And then again, going into the new year, I think we're going to bull run this month and partially in December, finish pretty strong around that January, February. And then towards the end of February, March is when I'm really looking for that correction, looking for that 10, 12, possibly even 15% around there. A crash? No, we just had a crash. Crashes are very rare, so that's something to keep in mind. So I wouldn't expect a crash. And we have to also remember, this is something that is extremely important. Now, a lot of people talk about a crash. We have to also remember that we have printed, the United States has printed 40% of the money this year alone, which is frightening. But again, something like that would be that would really affect the economy. You won't really see it till further down the road. Yes, it is frightening, and I understand why everybody's coming out with this stuff. But you also have to understand that this isn't going to really affect the market to let it on down the road. It's got a delayed effect on the market, and you have to realize that it's not going to take 2 months. We're talking about like years here. We got so much money pumping through the system to try to get it up. We're not going to have a crash till probably maybe 4 or 5 years down the road. I mean, this is just projecting. Nobody knows for sure. I don't know. This is just my thesis, but I mean, it's just too far down the road. But I do believe there will be a correction next year, especially when rates, if there's any kind of rate increase, you're going to see big tech take a step back from that point. Temporarily, maybe a good correction and then move from that point. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. We still got earnings this week, so for as far as this week and everything, we're gonna have to see what happens Wednesday. There might be some volatility. We might get a deeper pullback on Wednesday. It could be a strong possibility. So don't. Even though I'm very bullish right now, you got to be very careful on that. So that catalyst could pull us back. So if you're swinging overnight, you need to be careful on your risk, your size, and your positions. Limit that so you're not overly exposed. If it does dip for some reason, Powell can come out and say that he is no longer the chair, and then someone else can replace him. And the market may not like that at all, and they might market might fly too. But you have to realize that it could go either way from that point. But it is could be a big catalyst on Wednesday, so you got to keep that in mind. And being said, as far as this week, Bitcoin. So the market in general, I mean, it looks like it's rolling over. It's been wanting to kind of roll over. It looks like it just retested all-time high, the previous all-time high, and it's getting ready to rocket up. So it does not look weak at all. Then you also got Bitcoin, who just break and retested this. I expect this is going to be the next leg up for Bitcoin going into November. Then Tesla. Tesla's an absolute beast. You do have to be careful with this thing, though. It's run up massively, and I know even for myself, I've talked myself, well, how much more could it run? And it could run a lot. I talked about essentially these consolidations. It's had months of consolidation. So people think this is a crazy move. You have to realize how long it's essentially been consolidating almost all year. Since that February, the March sell-off, it's just been consolidating for that long. Now it's starting to be parabolic. This thing could go pretty far. I mean, I'm not going to put a price target on there because I don't want people to base their ideas and thoughts and trades off of that. We have to also understand that it has been consolidating for a long time. So this is something that's going to be on watch for a while till we get multiple days of pullback. The good thing about Tesla is it'll start stalling. So it gives you forewarning before it starts to sell off. When it does that and starts playing range again, you definitely want to wait for the range to break, either up or down, before you take a position on it to manage risk on that. Apple has just been consolidating a lot too. It's had some bad news as far as supply chain things and everything else. So being said, it's just been really stagnant. It's holding, but it's not all there. Facebook is one I want to watch tomorrow because of the metaverse stuff. Metaverse is going to be the next big thing after blockchain. To incorporate blockchain is something you need to be aware of. It's still a couple of years away, but leading up to that, people know now that Facebook came out last week and talked about it. People realize how important this is going to be. So there might be a lot more volume flowing into here for people looking for metaverse plays or investments for futures. So you might start to see some more volume in here in the coming months, years. I think it will really start to pick up even more. Microsoft, again, one of the leaders, been kind of dying out slowly. I think everything's in anticipation of Wednesday. Like I said, Google just sold off. It sold off all day. So it might be waiting for Wednesday and then see what happens Wednesday, and then it might make a move from that point. Square is one I like today. I like this wedge a lot, and then it got that news, so it's pushing up after hours. I did capture it down in the zone today, so we obviously broke that today, our overnight session, so I expect this to pop pretty good tomorrow. Coin had a nice pullback, but again, you saw on the Bitcoin chart, it just broke the wedge. It did a retest for breakout, so that's what I'm looking on Coin. Again, if Bitcoin can really run, Coin is something to keep on watch for that. Roblox, another metaverse play. If you're looking for a long-term investment, Roblox is definitely another way to go. If you don't want to invest in Facebook, you got Roblox, which has got great potential moving forward. UPST is another one I took today. It's finally broken back up. Looks like we're finally turning here. It took us a while to get past this point, but we did get a retest here. Things are looking clear. I can see this going back to all-time highs and actually going further. I think that, again, you got AI running loan, especially with everything that's going on and people struggling with money. And being out of work and everything like that, having an auto loan program like this is really going to do well. They do have earnings coming up. I don't know when exactly that is. It's something I got to check out, but it is pretty soon as well. So if they crush earnings, this thing is really, really going to rocket like it did when it made this parabolic move up to 400. Affirm, again, sitting kind of flat. I think a lot of these are kind of sit flat going into Wednesday. Again, Tesla, a lot of the value money has been soaked up by Tesla right now. So Amazon in itself, have to watch. It is on support here. But like we saw in Apple and everything else, it's a lot of these things have just been kind of playing tight range, waiting till Wednesday. Shop has just been an absolute beast. It did break the 1500s. I'm actually expecting this to come back down to the 1500 tomorrow. I'm doing a retest for possible position as long as the market doesn't completely cave, and then start writing this back up. Again, it's had many price target upgrades, so that is something to keep in mind. SC monster rip in the close today. I tried to actually grab this today, and I was looking at other plays, so I didn't get into this. But if this does play range, hit this demand zone, supply zone, and then come back down. I want to try to pick this back up. So that's one I want to keep on watch. TTD is another one. Again, same kind of setup here. It has this nice consolidation. So I want to actually try to take a position in this as well and possibly ride this back to the 83 mark. So it's a pretty good span there as well. I'm trying to think here. ABNB, that's been pretty choppy for the most part. SoFi could be a one to watch. I had a nice break today. It was something I was watching on the daily. It had this nice break and retest on the wedge. Look for this to actually come back down, essentially that 2085 mark. Looking for a possible turnaround to the 26 mark. So it has good potential moving forward as well. So I want to keep SoFi on watch as well. Some of the mid caps got really strong today. Clove is looking like it wants to come back. Clove actually has earnings on the 8th. So you get that coming up as well. So there's just a lot going on. As far as earnings and being extremely bullish right now, again, there's no real reason. Wednesday is a potential wild card on what could be released on that day, something to keep in mind. Yes, I think we're going to hear about when they're tapering. The tapering thing is not really an issue, unless they say they're starting to raise rates. To raise rates now at this point is more of a catalyst to swing us up or down, and also Powell's position as chair is what matters. The inflation stuff and all that isn't really that big of a deal at this point, unless something dramatically changes overnight. Aside from that, I think everything is set up very well to continue to push up. So just be mindful of that. Again, manage risk. I'm still not trying to go too heavy on stuff overnight, because I do believe that these next couple of weeks we're really going to run. But also being said, you still have to be mindful that something could drop, especially with the pandemic and everything, that could cause it to the market to go crazy. Although I don't really see that really happening as of now. I think we'll be pretty good going into the holidays here. So if you have made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the field.